What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to listen to and react to an episode of Kevin Samuels' podcast. Right, Kevin Samuels, man, when it came to breaking relationships down and stuff like that, like Kevin Samuels, in my opinion, was like a genius, right? Um, he had his unique way of explaining stuff to people, to women and men about how to how relationships should be and how to manage relationships. And so I ran across this particular podcast of Kevin Samuels, and it was called This Young Lady. It was the title is I Don't Want to Be a Slave, and I look better than Beyonce, right? And so in the conversation that Kevin Samuels is having with this young lady, she made the statement that she thought that marriage was like slavery. And so Kevin Samuels had to break it down to her and point out where her argument was flawed, and that that's a mistake to look at it that way. And so with that being said, I'm going to listen and react to, add my 2 cents to what I think about, this conversation between Kevin Samuels and this young lady. And so I'm going to play the audio. Moment. Yes. Oh, I got to skip that music.
Ideally 3 to 4, but right now I would say at the age that I am, maybe 2.
How old are you?
32. Well, I'll be 32 soon.
Okay, so you want to be a traditional housewife then?
I wouldn't say ultra traditional, but somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you want the man to be a traditional provider?
Yes. Ideally, I would like that.
Okay. That sounds like an imbalance.
I don't necessarily think so.
If you need him to be a traditional provider,
mm-hmm.
but he's not getting a traditional housewife, what is he getting that's better than a traditional housewife? Because his responsibility is here. What's he going to get that's here or above?
What does a traditional housewife entail?
Well, you tell me, because you said you're not one. You picked the right one.
Housewife, I'm just imagining kind of being a slave. So that's
Let me stop you right here. Let me stop you right here.
Mm-hmm.
Where are your people from?
My mom's from Trinidad and my dad's from Jamaica. So I see that's
hold on.
Why?
We don't need white supremacy racism. When all we got is this, that you think that the women who came before you were slaves.
It's not that necessarily, but just what I'm seeing in the media and just all around me. I see women trying to be this housewife for men, traditional housewife for men, and they're just getting like, can I curse?
Let me stop it right here, right quick, right? Because I don't know why women see like marriage or being a housewife as being a slave, when men don't really like, if you are a provider and a protector, men don't really say it. They don't think of that as being like as slavery. Like, you go to work every day and you make your money and you come home and you make sure the bills and everything paid. But men don't see that as slavery, but why do women see being a housewife, taking care of the house and the husband, the house, and the kids? They see that as slavery. I don't understand. I just think it's just like, in my opinion, it's just two different roles. It's two different responsibilities. But let's get into some more of what this young lady had to say about marriage being slavery.
Be prepared to be challenged on anything you're gonna say, because you tell me in the media, I'm gonna ask you whether you watch it. Excuse me? You talking about when women, a woman who's, let's do it. Let's do it. Traditional housewife. What media are you talking about?
So let's. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I want you to define what traditional
No.
housewife. Because in
You
my
can't.
mind,
You.
traditional housewife is being home.
You can't overtalk me. That's how we. No, we don't do that. Stick
Okay.
it down. I said traditional housewife. You said no, not traditional housewife. All right. So you was thinking of something, and then you was talking about, well, from what I'm seeing in the media. I'm asking you what media. You haven't answered any questions.
Okay.
What media are you talking about?
Social media.
Where do you see traditional housewives in social media?
Everywhere.
Do you?
Well, I mean, that I know of, just women getting taken care of and not working. No.
So that's what a traditional housewife is, taken care of and not working.
So and it's obvious that this young lady don't even know, she don't even know like what a traditional housewife is. But and later on in this conversation, she'll speak about like how she saw her mother be a housewife, but she still can't explain, like what a traditional housewife is. That's just, to me, it's just crazy.
To me, yes.
Oh, okay. So, and that's getting the shit end of the stick?
From what I've seen so far, yes. From what I've seen so far, yes. That's why I get your definition of it.
Well, why do you want it?
Why
do you want a man to take? Then why do you want a man to get out here and work and pay all the bills so you can sit at home?
I didn't necessarily phrase it as that. I said
that's what it is.
Wanted a provider for the
you
most.
Wanted to be able to work, and you wanted. I asked the question. I asked the question, so I'm very clear. I asked the question. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant. You want a man to be a traditional provider. I've said that 3 times.
Okay.
But how we get to it, you don't have to want to be the one carrying the financial family load. You want to be provided for.
Yeah.
And then what is he going to get? Because he's not going to get a traditional wife. What is he going to get?
And see, that's the thing, right? So it's okay for him to the man to work hard and be a provider, and then she wants to be taken care of and wants like a soft, cushy life. When a lot of women don't understand, like for most people, that's not how life works. That's the purpose of having a partner is and being in a relationship so people can work together. And working together, like different people have different roles and different responsibilities. Like the husband role is going to be different from the wife. And then the kids, and then when y'all have kids, like kids also play a small part in like maybe having chores, so they'll have a role in how the household is not really managed, but responsibilities as far as like what they contribute to the household. But women have like this fairy tale, some women have this fairy tale notion that they're supposed to live like a princess while this guy is doing what he needs to do to take care of the household. And so anything other than having a soft life, they consider, like she considers that to be slavery, which is not. It's just, everybody just doing their role and playing their part. And so, that's how, that mindset right there is how a lot of women will mess up and not even, just a mess up a relationship because they think a relationship is supposed to, like I said, she's supposed to live like a princess and not even have to work hard or contribute in any significant way, when that's not, that's not how it works.
The love and support that I have.
You can buy a goddamn dog for that.
Okay.
So you ladies don't want a fair deal. You ladies want an unfair deal. You want a man to go out and do the things that men have always been expected to do since time immemorial, but yet you don't come to the table wanting to even come and act in good faith. You women like you, I'm gonna talk about you. You come in here talking about a traditional housewife as a slave.
Mhm.
And I tell you what, you leave men alone, go get your girlfriend, go buy a dog and live and die by yourself. I get tired of you women talking about men as though we're something to hurt and abuse shit because you watch fucked up social media stories.
Mhm.
Men are tired of having you put this shit on them. If we talked about y'all like this, you call us toxic. If we said, oh, traditional housewives are some gold diggers, then there'll be all kind of problems.
Mhm.
But this is what I mean. You guys are used to talking about men in some of the foulest ways. And then say you want them.
Okay.
So let's take it down. What do you want to stay home with your kids?
I absolutely do want to stay at home with my kids up until a certain age. Yes.
Then where are they going to go after what age?
I was thinking maybe kindergarten.
And if you have 4 children, that means you'll be out of the workforce for at least 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for a living?
I'm currently a flight attendant.
Flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So, being gone out of the workforce for 10, 12 years, think you're going to be able to go back to be a flight attendant at 50?
Nope. At 50 years old, it'll be so hard for her to go back to being a flight attendant, especially being out of work for 12 years or so. That, that's just unreasonable. Like I said, I don't know where these young ladies get this, and probably like from fairy tales or or love stories or some type of novels or something, whatever's going around, that women just have an unrealistic expectation of what life is supposed to be like and what relationships are. She said, she thinks and said that marriage is like slavery, but and I think that is an insult to women who were housewives, who are housewives, because being a housewife is, in my opinion, is a very important job. Like being a housewife, you have a housewife is, she's vital in like the maintaining the health of the man and the kids. If she cooking meals, she has to make sure that everybody, like, what you're eating is healthy. That could be the difference between having um high blood pressure, diabetes, or anything that comes with not eating correctly. Like that's very important. And so if like for a man, like if he's working outside the house, he won't have time to prepare like healthy meals for the family because he's working outside the house. And that won't be, it'll be better to have somebody who could be home and provide, that'll be the role, to make sure everybody is healthy. His role is to make sure that everybody inside the house is safe and is provided for. So you can't, for her to say that being a housewife is like slavery, but yet women will go outside of the house and work hard as I don't know what for somebody else outside of the home, but something in the house will be lagging, like something will be missing. And that the role that she's really supposed to be fulfilling, that is what will be missing inside the house, because she wants to be outside of the house working for somebody else, and to me, slavery, I think, if you want to work and pay for expensive cars and give your money to, travel all over the place, buying clothes and stuff like that, that's more, in my opinion, that's more like turning yourself into a slave, because now you're working to support these big companies and these big corporations that make cars and people, having trips and jewelry and stuff like that. You're buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't even need, and things that are not really necessary for you to have a healthy family. So I was gonna play more of this Kevin Samuels interview, but he kind of got like some music and stuff playing in the background, and I don't know if that's you know, if I run into some copyright issues with that. So I'm not really gonna play anymore. But you kind of get the point, you know. Like I said, for women to think that marriage is slavery, I think it's an insult to women who are, or being a housewife is slavery. I think that's an insult to women who are housewives, and their job is very important. Like, I mean, their job is necessary. If you know, if a man can find a woman and support her and have her be a housewife, I think life would be easier for both of them, the man and the woman. But that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.